What's up, everybody? Welcome back here to the BTS Pro Series. My name is rkryptic. I'm here with neph. Sorry for the long delay there. We just had to get things all in place. We've got a draft underway. I guess we could probably just jump right into it. But neph, how are you feeling about these teams, man?
Yeah, this one's gonna hurt my heart a little bit. My boy Hiko is on NoRunes. My boy Costa is on Team Brazil. I mean, the cat's out of the bag at this point. That Costa is not going to be on Nouns anymore, which kind of sucks because he was one of my two favorite players on the team.
Yeah.
That man was so easy to work with. He was way too nice. When I'd be getting him food and stuff, he'd be afraid to like speak up and say what he wants. Whenever he didn't like something, he'd just be like, "No, it's fine. Don't worry about it." Like I heard that working with players was an absolute nightmare, and Costa was an angel. I love him. Of course, and
uh,
he always gave me funny stories about Brazil and whatnot.
yeah.
So I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, Costa was a nice dude. But yeah, like you said, kind of cat's out of the
Was a
bag
nice
here.
dude. Yeah, he's dead now.
Yeah, he's dead to neph.
Yeah, if you're not on the team, then you're basically dead to me. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the draft, man.
We got a lot to catch up on. The thing that was interesting here, the first phase Trient Rubik is like a really bizarre opener, in my opinion. Like, there's not really, I don't really know where they're going with this one, but it is definitely some comfort picks. I know that. So maybe they just like really want to get the Trient for themselves because they play around it a lot. But
I mean, Hiko's playing 3 on this team, right? But from I remember, Hiko's like a god at Rubik, so maybe they plan on swapping around or something like that. I'd really like to see him on the hero.
yeah, I mean, I know Nuage has played Trient like pretty much constantly. Like in almost every tournament I've seen him for the last like year, he's just been a Trient Protector spammer. So I'm sure that's going to be his hero. They do have Overgrowth, Ravage, and stuff set up there for the Cataclysm if they do end up wanting to go for like the eventual Aghanim Scepter on the Invoker. But it's a pretty good Quas Wex game already. There's a really nice pickup at the end of phase 2.
Yeah, and Team Brazil decided to round their draft out, getting the Monkey King. So you have a lot of early game aggression, man. Yeah, great ability to run down towers with Leshrac and the Beastmaster. You've got good like rotation potential with Marana and the Tiny. And Monkey King is a very aggressive early game carry. So no runes are gonna have to match this tempo with whatever they last pick here. And they don't have much time here, Reggie. Only 11 seconds of reserve time. I think they're panicking.
Yeah. They probably are. I would say they just, well, I don't know if they're panicking as much as they just front loaded a lot of their draft time, but they just need a good core matchup.
That is
Not a good core matchup, actually. This has to be a comfort pick. I know Minnie loves this hero, but Monkey King is one of like the few melee heroes that actually owns Medusa.
Yeah.
Because you just drop Wukong's command, get a defusal, and you just don't care. Like the late game matchup is like massively favored for Monkey King. So that's a little bit bizarre. It is pretty good against the Leshrac and some of these other heroes. It's really good against the Beastmaster lane. Like Beastmaster has no threat into the Medusa lane. She just basically free farms. So I'm assuming that's probably one of the big reasons why they picked this one up. But yeah, it is a kind of out of left field for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan. They have some like they do have like some big team fight potential. Like fighting into the Tidehunter, Ravage, Cataclysm, Overgrowth coming out is like kind of scary alongside the Medusa, and they needed something that had big right click damage in order to round out their draft. And Medusa does give that. It can stand its ground and it has big right click damage. But I definitely prefer Team Brazil. I think they're going to play really fast here, and NoRunes isn't going to have a chance to build up any of the items they need on the Tidehunter or the Medusa. Even Invoker, I mean, Exord starts a little bit slower, and you think there's going to be a Quas Wex this game, right?
Yeah, I think with what you see on the other side, the Quas Wex would make the most sense, but I don't know. You could go Exord. It's just essential for dealing with heroes like the Monkey King and the Leshrac, so I would be shocked if they don't do that.
Uh, well, maybe they did panic. They ran out of time. They went, okay, well, we'll guess we'll just lock in this Medusa. We can't think of anything better. My man Badger, the admin, he was messaging me before the game. He said, Neff, I got good news for you. Between that last series, we only had about a minute and 2 seconds of pause time. We're looking to break a new record of least pause time in the Pro Series, but I'm not feeling very optimistic for this upcoming season. And this upcoming game. And I think he was right. Strap yourself in, Ricky. We're ready for some long breaks.
Oh, I'm ready. I managed to actually get some food in me, so we're chilling. We big chilling.
Oh, John.
All right, there we go.
Get the show on the road here. Starting with 2 Fairy Fires and Mirana, so just going to be harass people down with right clicks in the lane. Talvo without any regen, so if they don't get any bounty runs, it's possible they can just harass them back out of the lane, but they don't have amazing heroes for...
He might send a Tango out on Bounty Gold, but his goal is just go straight for that Helm of Iron Will, and he's just going to be getting fed Tangos constantly from the Mirana.
Yeah, and as you can see down here in the bottom lane, he actually puts a point of Wild Axe before the lane even starts, and uses it to clear out trees faster.
That's the best thing you can do, actually, because you don't really have any harassment with the boar in this lane. Like, it's never going to hit to the Medusa, and if you summon it, the snake can just potentially kill it right away, so...
Yeah, we've seen some supports, by the way, when they're playing against Treant Protector, they also buy a Quelling Blade in the lane, but it looks like Talvo, with, you know, Quelling Blade plus Wild Axe is able to clear out enough trees that I don't think the Treant would be as much of a problem. And all this extra, all these Fairy Fires on KJ will do a little bit more damage to the Treant, and it just clicks him down.
Yeah, they're going to invade for this top rune. Monkey King disguised as a tree. Very successful camouflage there.
Just like me in drama class. Do you ever get to play the tree in the background?
Wow.
No.
Did the school play?
No, I was never lucky enough, unfortunately.
What did you do?
I played sports.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You're one of those.
Yeah, played soccer for 18 years.
I see. And now look at you playing video games.
Whole lot of good that did, yeah.
Do you still play? Apparently a lot of people at TI, I think
I haven't played in years.
South American teams in particular, a lot of them were playing soccer together.
Oh my gosh, Nuages. Yeah, he may not have the trees, but he still hits real hard as they're able to slow down KOD. Is that going to be... Oh, he's just not fast enough. We'll be able to survive, and that's going to force a salve right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage you did to him, though. He's not even going to heal back up to full HP. He's got to eat a Tango as well there, so... a rough start to this one.
Yeah, I would have...
He's going to go in for it again.
I mean, that's the thing about Treant Protector is he doesn't have a lot of armor, but he dishes the damage back, you know? Nuages, he's the support. He does not care if he's trading with the Beastmaster, and one more auto attack from Mini. Will he get it? The bonus armor into the tower is going to be enough to keep him alive.
Yeah, I thought he'd go down there, but yeah, just barely enough to survive that one, so managed to get away. But again, you're sitting at like no HP. He didn't want to bring much regen out because he wanted to get to the Helm of Humdom as quickly as possible. Now he probably just hit himself out an extra salve.
Yeah, he's doing great. Ooh, that is a first blood top lane. Out from the Rubik. Nicely done. Managed to take down the Mirana. This is literally like role-playing Snake King Mirana right here. Every single time he'd come to lane with like double Fairy Fire, a bunch of Tangos, and a regen, he would just click the enemy support. That's all he would do. It worked. I mean, it worked for Snake King. It worked for almost anyone else. He just gets level 2 here on the Mirana, which he might go for the leap. Yeah, that's exactly what he's gonna do.
Yeah, walk away from them there. Mid lane, yeah, FCR is actually doing a lot of damage to Guts here. Might be able to finish him off. It's gonna be close. He's got the Fairy Fire. It'll keep him alive. He thought about diving the tower. He actually takes a couple tower shots from that in order to clear out the courier. He loses the Null Talisman recipe and a mango on that as well. So Invoker is out here struggling now. Actually went 2 points into Wex as well instead of 2 points Quas at the beginning, so his HP regen is going to be lower. I'm surprised how well Leshrac is doing down here. He's a little bit behind on CS, but that's basically it. And while over here, Courier's delivering out items, but he's going to get an early Glove of Haste, which allow him to trade with the Tide Hunter and whatnot. Tide has actually opted to go Gush and Anchor Smash rather than putting any points into Kraken Shell at the beginning. This is just to be able to like keep Monkey King's HP down. You don't want to go Kraken Shell in this lane. Instead, you want to keep Ghost to be like below half HP and threaten to kill him here.
Yeah.
So aggressive rather than defensive on the Tidehunter is better when you're playing against a hero like Monkey King.
Decent attempt there from the Rubik. Almost gets close to be back into the tower, but just barely off the mark.
Tavo?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Nuage's is deep. What?
He's tree, man. The last place you want to hide against a tree and protector is inside the trees. You just give him free pathing, extra movement speed, but yeah, he went in deep there. Kigardi is struggling as well. I mean, they're just getting bullied in these lanes. And they're going to try to toss Mini back in the tower. He doesn't quite line it up, though.
Close.
He did a lot of damage to him there, if he'd managed to connect that.
I'm grateful to you.
So, things probably going to be slower for a moment here. And pause comes out. Again, not much action happening here in the mid lane. It's basically just a CSing war between the Leshrac and the Invoker, and Gut seems to have a little bit of an advantage for that one.
Yeah, you just get the casual EMPs onto Lesh. It's really obnoxious to deal with. So you can just force that extra regen out, and Guts, of course, picks up that raindrop, the wand. So he's not going to really have mana issues in this game.
Yeah.
Looks like they're having some packet loss here on the Rubik, so he's just going to DC for a moment.
Yeah, so usually what the rule is for servers, and the reason why they might be having packet loss right now is if there's a Brazilian team and a Peruvian team, they play on Argentinian servers. If there is any North American team, they play on US East servers. But KJ is currently in Europe, and so I think the rule for that one is that they play on US East because of it.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yep. And so all of them have kind of bad routing over to US East. It's a lot worse from like Peru playing to Brazil or Brazil playing to Peru, though. So again, Argentina is like the middle ground there because they have a little bit better ping than US East, but not amazing routing. The only way to make it fair for KJ, though, is for them to play on US East.
Tavo's almost to his Helm of Iron Will, which is basically like the moment where you like kind of start to stabilize your lane. But again, the reason the Medusa is so strong here is you cannot apply pressure to the Medusa. Mini will be free farming the entire lane stage. So this is going to be a pretty scary Medusa as we scale into the mid game. And Costabile luckily also having a really good time. I'm curious if he is going to go for like the Diffusal build, or if he wants to pick up something like an early Battle Fury or Maelstrom. So we'll see. Back into the game we go. So we are unpaused finally. Ooh, arrow connects. Balance strike is there, and Kraken Shell not going to be enough to keep him alive. Ooh, maybe it is with that damage reduction from the Anchor Smash, but he's just trying to hide himself in the trees here, being blocked up by KJ. Beautiful body blocks, actually, but Cosby actually can't get in range now, and they end up turning it around. They get the kill. They push him away. He goes out.
No way he gets away with this. They couldn't finish him off.
Oh, man. Yeah, the whole creep wave was actually blocking Costabile. He couldn't get in range for the auto attacks.
Yeah, that and like the trees being around there, you like tried to cut a couple of them down, but he couldn't take them all out fast enough and tried to get back on top of him afterwards, but just couldn't connect. Man, that is rough. All right, Mirana instead is going to make a rotation down here to the bottom lane. Hopefully, you can find a kill down here to make up for that slip up in the top lane.
They should be able to get like an Avatos onto the Treant, but
it'll line up an arrow as well.
Oh, he does have the mango. He could go for it.
Yeah, but it's like a full HP Treant protector. You have to keep in mind, like 920 is a lot to try to burn through.
They go for the Medusa. She's taking a ton of damage here, but gets the stick off. Mini's fine. Actually going to turn around, do a little bit of damage back just in these auto attacks. They take down that Hawk as well, and Nuage's here. Just going to continue to try and beat into the Mirana.
Well, they don't manage to take down. They almost bursted down Medusa before she got her mana shield off, but she managed to clutch up and get off that magic wand. KJ about to go down to Guts, making the rotation down bot.
That's a nice find. Doesn't have the urn quite yet, so You know, it could have been better, but still, nice rotation from him. Now looking for Tavo down underneath the tower. I don't think he has the damage for this, does he? There's the Tornado EMP. Okay, he's just being a nuisance.
Now he's gonna come back mid. Doesn't want to give Leshrac the opportunity to shove in tier 1.
Looks like the Dire figured out where Radiant's top tower.
All right, think gonna slow down again for a moment. Tavo, things will pick up for him once he gets the Helm Dom, like you mentioned. He's like 900 gold off of this one still. I'm concerned about how much farm Mini's getting, but you know, we will see how quickly Mini tries to come online, like you mentioned. He actually farmed with just a Dragon Lance pretty quickly on the Medusa.
Yeah, but again, the chain stuns into the bottom lane. Mini falling low, but there's going to be a rotation in from the Rubik to try and offer some assistance as Mini makes his way into the trees. The axe spam is there. Mini falling low. They get the Hawk for the vision, a couple more auto attacks, but there's going to be the telekinesis to pull him back. Stuns up KJ. The Starstorm will finish her off as they do get the trade. It's once again Guts coming back to the bottom lane here. This time does have that urn. And they're going to try to take down KJ with that. They will. So they end up being a 3-for-1 exchange. Guts getting very active early on.
You have to wonder if enough is happening around the map to make up for losing that 3-for-1. I mean, Leshrac is farming up neutral creeps. Ghost is kind of doing his own thing up in the top lane, but I don't think that's worth it, man.
I love what Guts is doing here. He's actually staying bottom. Going to try and find another kill potentially.
He's backing off now. Mini and KJ both scout out the rune. It's forced to deny it there.
Okay.
On the Medusa.
All right.
Costa,
Nice
meanwhile, up
toss
in the top.
Yeah. Actually get Rubik underneath the tower. They're going to try and heal him up here with this Leech Seed. It's level 3. It's doing some heavy lifting here, and Rubik with the stick. Able to keep himself alive for now. Pops the Fire Fire. There is going to be an axe in 2 seconds. But he's got the raindrop available and almost keeps alive, but it's going to be the Starstorm to do it. And Guts once again with another rotation into the bottom lane to help find themselves another kill. This one going the way of Mini's Medusa. They are here on the Leshrac as well. There's going to be the Avalanche, the toss. They do get the Treant Protector extremely low. Will he get a spell off? He does not. They get the kill underneath the tower. Maybe another TP in this one from the Monkey King as Guts will go ahead and pop that Ghost Walk, try and get away, but they get him with the dust. He does have the Cold Snap. He has the urn, drops it on top of Costa Bile. The Starstorm doing some work, but Mini is still keeping himself alive. The Tornado off the mark into the trees there is FCR trying to hobble away. King RD with a big avalanche onto 3. A toss comes out as well. Big split earth. The arrow pump fake. Is it going to connect onto anyone? They want Guts. That's the big kill, but can they actually get it? Costa Bile chasing him down. Does end up doing it, but God, it's a bloodbath. There's been like 8 kills in this bottom lane.
Yeah, over the side while the rest of them were brawling. And managed to land an arrow, and Rubik and Mirana both kill each other at the same time. Zap comes out the last time, the same time the same last auto attack comes from Mirana. But that entire time, FCR, he could have done way more there if he had more mana. He came down there with like 30% left, and he's been spamming out the arcane boots and the arcane ring that he's got, but...
Roar.
He's actually going to find another kill.
Yeah, okay. Roar into arrow. They get the Treant. I mean, not the most important kill, but you take it, and now Invoker, he's back. He gets the Tornado, takes down the Leshrac, and puts a little bit more harassment into Tavo. He is going to have a very early Vessel this game.
He hasn't been part of these fights, though, is Hiko. He's just doing his thing up in the top lane while this has been going on. Kind of surprising, because he's got Ravage available now.
Hey, he's just full farm mode, man. He is very happy right now. He did have a rough lane, right? A rough start to the lane, so he just needed to get himself some XP. And rotation from Costa Bile with a haste rune is going to be very difficult for him to deal with. The avalanche, the toss. Eco getting low, has the Ravage, drops it, only gets the tree grab as a response, trying to take down King RD. He beats him down with the stick. The Sunstrike not needed, as Costa Bile will end up jumping away.
Yeah. The tree toss it to help him get the kill. I mean, you take what you can get there. And they do have overgrowth available, so they're going to try to go for the Monkey King, but before he ends up getting any ticks of damage there with the Nature's Grasp, ends up popping away on Costa.
They do get the bottom tower. Leshrac and Beastmaster making quick work of this one. Now it is, you know, bringing 2 big heroes to the bottom lane. Meanwhile, we have the side of NoRunes trying to find up some farm. Gee, actually, FCR is getting a lot of stuff out of this too.
If you're in the vicinity of
There they are.
tower, I'd put on a hard hat.
Anyways, Tava's gonna move back into the dire jungle here. They've got decent vision coverage of it right now, thanks to KJ.
Dyer's top tower is
Just made a movement through it with planted that observer pretty deep. So they know it's relatively safe inside the jungle here. I don't think they're gonna find a kill off on the Tidehunter, unfortunately. So Tava just looking to farm up the creeps here. And Guts finds the top tier 1. It looks like they're positioning for a movement on the mid tier 1 tower. Ravage is still on cooldown for another 70 seconds as well, but you are fighting into an overgrowth. So maybe you want to find a pick off first before you go for this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're actually able to just collapse on a mid lane. Nuages doesn't have any points in the living armor at the moment. Just 4 points in that leech seed to play super aggressive in the lane, and it did work. I mean, they got a lot out of it, but Tavo just chipping away at that tower as much as possible. I like the fact they brought Hiko here, though, now.
Yeah. Basically, what you want to do with Tidehunter is just sit him in front of any lane the enemies are trying to push, and if he's got Ravage available, you can turn the around pretty quickly.
Whoa!
Find a kill him.
Is that the vessel reveal? It is. Yep, that is big.
Yep.
You can tell Dyer's middle tower is in trouble from the way it's being destroyed.
And the tree toss. He manages to get tree dance instead, though. You can actually do some decent scouting and damage with Rubik with this spell. They're gonna try to run at Guts, but not gonna be able to connect with him.
Wait, the
Like
toss?
possibly he was on top of the tree. They knew exactly where he was, and he goes down. Walk around and find out, my friend.
That is wild. King RD is a
you can
gamer.
actually toss somebody in fog.
Yeah. He's like, they probably got a ward here, guys, but nope, they do not. He just saw the toss button light up and was like, oh, hello.
Well, no, I think you saw him hop to a tree at some point earlier. Either that or he's just randomly pressing toss.
Yeah.
But he saw the Rubik toss, jump to a tree earlier, and even though you're there, you're not invisible. You're just in the fog, so you can toss units that are still in the fog.
Yeah. That was sick. That was a good play. Net worth wise, pretty even so far in the game, 14-7, but net worth actually just going back and forth, playing some ping pong. Top of the charts is going to be that Medusa, which we knew was going to be the case thanks to just the easy lane matchup, but followed pretty closely by the 2 cores of Team Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, it is an issue that Medusa sitting at the top of the net worth, but it was a pretty easy lane. You were saying yourself during the draft that that lane's like pretty uncontested for the Medusa, right?
Yeah, it is one of the easiest Medusa lanes. You just can't actually pressure her at all. Beastmaster is not a good lane hero until he gets the Helm of the Dominator and like several points in his summons, right? So those first like 5 levels, you're just chilling. You just free farm.
I think like anyone you can't take advantage of your summons with is hard to play against, and unfortunately, like Treant Protector and Medusa clear out the summons just way too quickly.
And Beastmaster is just a weak laner. He's kind of like he's like got the same problems as Sand King. Just super weak early on, but then just becomes incredibly strong in the lane and very difficult to deal with. And Tavo just keeps planting himself bottom and applying pressure, kind of farming up. It's a huge commitment to come bottom to kill him. And even if you do, he might still have summons up to like continue to push waves. It's just never worth it.
Yep. So he needs to do his thing down here and continue to work on his Helm of the Overlord.
Oh my goodness. Hiko playing with fire here. Oh, Sunstrike ends up connecting. Well played. Hiko's got the Ravage. Doesn't want to throw it, though, as they cancel the TP into that outpost. So Wukong's command, as well as the Roar, committed for that one.
Yeah. And now, off the back of that kill on the Tidehunter, he doesn't have buyback available. This is the hero they need to take out if they want to be able to grab the mid-tier 1.
Absolutely. Midas is almost done on this Invoker, which would be really good at being able to take down this summon. But Nuages, he's back into the mid lane. They're gonna cut down some of these trees to toss back right onto FCR, but there it is. The overgrowth not really doing a whole lot. The stolen Wukong's command. Hello. Ends up being a 1-for-1. And that will protect the mid tower. Good enough for them.
With Tidehunter back up, they're just going to back up into the enemy team's jungle where they know it's safe, where they've established vision until they can find the Tidehunter again, or he pops his Ravage, I guess. But
I feel like Beastmaster is like borderline not a good hero because you have to build Helm of the Overlord.
You don't have to. I mean, we've seen other builds on the hero when enemies have like super hard counters to Helm Overlord.
Yeah, but you just like
You
don't
You
want
feel
to
a
build
bit
a Wraith
underwhelming.
Pact on this hero, right? And it's like that's just such a weird.
It's like the fact that that is like the item that you build right now.
Yeah, and like you don't want to build on another hero because you're just double dipping the Vlad's aura.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, double damage rune outside the Roche pit plus Alacrity. It's going to be a pretty quick Roshan here for the Radiant.
Try to get to it, but I think the double damage rune, that boost that they get from that, they got vision thanks to the Hawk.
Arrow ends up catching onto Hiko. Avalanche comes through, but a nice lift. Trying to make some space for King RD. Wraith Pact goes down the Ravage as well just to secure it, and maybe they go in. Nah, nice Stone Gaze here to try and disengage.
Yeah, and at this point they'll have to walk up the hill to try and
Wait a
grab
minute,
somebody.
Mini.
But they're gonna try.
Mini, maybe is he
Mini,
baiting? He might be baiting, but that's a very dead Medusa here to start this engagement out. And on the front side, Guts will help take down Tavo. A lot of damage coming through. Nice deafening blast, but stuck inside the Wukong's command. Mini just gets absolutely crushed here by FCR as well. They've got the stomp there from the Conquer. Beautifully done. Great trade there for Brazil. I mean, yeah, you trade one for one, but you get the Aegis as well.
Yeah. No, I was a little bit concerned when I saw them running up that hill. I thought, okay, after they take down Medusa the first time, they committed all these abilities. There's no way they have damage to be able to bring her down a second time. But you were talking about this one at the start of the game during the draft. Like, this matchup, Medusa against Monkey King, being able to fight underneath the Wukong's command just destroys Medusa. She doesn't have any abilities to help herself get out of that one, unfortunately.
Yeah. Not until you have, like, Pike, right? You need, like, Pike and BKB. And even then, like, it's not easy.
Oh my god.
The blink here on King RD doing some work. Hiko gets caught, drops that Wraithfire Pact, trying to give himself some space, but FCR
The
just healing up
Bloodstone gives you
so much with the
sustain.
Bloodstone, but yeah, they get the damage.
Not with the
KJ.
Wraith Pact totem there, my friend.
Ah.
No, my friend. Goodbye, my friend.
Yeah, Wraith Pact, good item. You would guess.
Yeah. I really went all in on that one. I think they're gonna have to have a talk with Ron after that. They paused the game here. He is gonna go for the Pipe of Insight after the Wraith Pact totem on Thailander, which isn't surprising. It's what we see almost every single time. But we just have to talk about while the game is paused. The Desolator actually just got finished on Monkey King. It's being flown out to him right now. So rather than going for a Diffusal Blade to help burn down the Medusa's mana as quick as possible, I just want to focus on getting any of these no-rune heroes, which I do like. I think being able to threaten them all and blow them up as quick as possible is important in these upcoming fights.
It is a really good Deso game. I mean, 3 of these heroes are really low armor, right? In general, Treant Protector, Tide Hunter, and Invoker are not known for their high armor, of course, so going to be very, very, very powerful. Going to scale super well. And you just use up the BKB after that. I like the decisions for sure.
Mm-hmm. You do need the BKB this game. You don't want to get caught out by the Treant Protectors dropping the Overgrowth off onto you, nor a lockdown from the Invoker and whatnot. Speaking of, he's probably going to need his teammates going for like Lotus Orbs to be able to help him out, because at this point in the fight, like there's only one right clicker on their side, and that is going to be the Monkey King. So him dropping a timely Overgrowth after he sees the BKB come out is what he's going to be focusing on.
Oh, guess what,
here.
Neph?
What up?
Valve just added the Collector's Cache to the game.
Which one?
Like the whole, like the vote, the community vote one? Like the 18th...
I don't know what that is.
What? The community voted Collector's Cache that was just in client, like for the last month, where you vote on like 120 sets and the top voted ones get added to the Collector's Cache?
I don't vote.
Oh my god, you are the worst. But anyway, to all you other people who actually, you know, care, Collector's Cache is now in client. Which it does feature the new Ricky set, so thank you everyone who voted for that. I appreciate it.
Call me up when they got some gameplay updates. Miss me with this sniper jar or whatever it is that they've added to the game.
It's all right. We'll get the update. When's qualifiers start? The 11th, right?
Yeah.
Updates coming. Updates coming literally on
really
like the 14th.
funny. Remember one of the biggest updates they did where they added juggle items just before the DPC qualifiers after PSG LGD took some time off and they lost in the qualifiers?
Yep.
Yeah, that was sick. That was so sick.
Yeah, I'm really
I
excited
want more
for,
of that.
for
Make
that
that happen.
happening.
I wanted to fundamentally change the game just before the qualifiers. Give me chaos.
It's gonna happen. Like, it's not like a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You know.
Yeah.
Avalanche from King RD, the toss into the arrow. They've managed to find themselves the Rubik, a nice first kill, but it is a trade for the Tiny. And under the cover of Moonlight Shadow, they're trying to just disengage here. Wraith Pack Totem is down. Not an easy thing to fight into.
Now they're all going to back off. Losing Rubik ain't so bad. At the very least, you didn't have to commit Ravage, though. But Higo not so inclined to fight them prior to him finishing up this Pipe of Insight. Again, you want to be able to reduce this Leshrax's damage as much as possible. So if you can get the Pipe and the Wraith Pack Totem on the ground, then you're going to feel a little bit more confident about this.
Bottom lane, Nuages is there with the roots and just way too much damage coming through from the Invoker to clean that, pick that hero up. And they're out. Very slick rotation there. Just instant TPs.
Oh my
to the
god,
bottom lane.
the double leap, pull back.
The telekinesis, very nicely done. Ooh, Avalanche, toss back, ends up going for the overgrowth onto 3, but there's just way too much damage coming through from this Leshrax. 1-for-1 at the end of the day. Overgrowth on cooldown, but again, they got the Monkey King. That's what matters.
Yeah. 6 seconds. So I was reading the Bloodstone again. I still think it is needs to be changed to this like one hero that you build Bloodstone on and nothing else.
Are you telling me that the like 2 years of E-Blade Morph and him being the only hero in the game who builds E-Blade was a problem? And now we're doing it again
Other
with
heroes
Bloodstone?
build E-Blade? What do you mean?
Invoker, able to dodge out the arrow for the moment, but just surrounded by 4. Ends up falling. Guts goes down. That's a pretty big kill spree as well.
Yeah. A lot of gold going the way of FCI. Not that he needed anymore, but now he's going to have a blink there. Going to be able to jump these heroes on the back line. Pull them up before these fights even start. And they need to make very quick work of this tower. They don't have Fortify available. He didn't even have Diabolic Edict, but look how quickly the damage is coming through just from the Beastmaster.
Yeah.
And they do manage to find...
He's got the Rubik. Dude, he has done so good at finding these pickoffs this game. Like, King RD is just jumping in. No care in the world.
With the bottom tier 2 cleared out, they're going to look elsewhere on the map. They still got the tier 1 standing up in the top line. I imagine they have to make their way over there pretty quickly. But taking over the triangle is going to be the next objective here for Team Brazil. Is all the next objectives that they need are going to be around here the next couple of minutes. So they will firmly plant themselves there. Tier 1 and 2 top, tier 2 mid lane, and of course Roche.
Moonlight Shadow did just come out, and they know about this. They did have the Hawk to scout them out. It's going to be Mini here on the Medusa. Would be a huge find if they had the chain stuns. They do. The Wukong's command is out, and Medusa just barely survives. Nice Ravage in through from Hiko as Mini with the Stone Gaze trying to do some work. But again, they're fighting inside this Wukong's command. FCR trying to hobble away. Not going to be able to do so as a Tornado will clip him, finish him off. So a beautiful turn of events here. For NoRunes, the question is, can they get more? They're looking for Tavo. The Beastmaster would be a great find. King RD, nice avalanche from the high ground, and Tavo with the roar. And that bonus move speed will be able to walk away.
Yeah. Pushing everyone back, keeping them in place for a second there. You know, I was just watching BTS Pro Series SEA last night. Lower skill region, doesn't matter. Anyways, the important about this story is I was confused as to why the Leshrax weren't picking up BKBs earlier. Instead, they were just going Bloodstone, Boots of Travel, Blink Dagger, and you know, they're kind of getting away with it. Here, they do end up punishing the Leshrac for not going for that early BKB. In fact, he died as the Blink Dagger was being flown out to him, and it's a long way to his BKB now that he realizes that it is in fact a problem.
King RD thought he could go in a little bit further with that Blink, ends up coming up short. They'll pick him off, and they're actually trying to just take down the Thunderhide, and that's quick 250 gold here for the Medusa.
Yep, and they'll keep going forward here.
Tornado off the mark for the catch him with the Cold Snap. EMP is there, the Meatball to join, and Tavo will burn.
Yeah.
Beautiful finds here from NoRunes.
Yeah, no need to try to push up the high ground, but they're feeling a lot more confident. You didn't have a pipe in the previous team fight where you just took the Leshrac down, but you do have it now, so... Again, this BKB is even more important nonetheless. If you're getting affected by if the enemy team is being kept up by the Wraith Pact and the Pipe of Insight being down, and you're not bursting them down instantly, they're just going to tear through you with the lack of BKB.
Yep. Double damage outside the Roche pit. We're going to see the timer in here in just about 25 seconds. See how we're doing with that. But yeah, it looks like NoRunes, they're definitely kind of turning the tide of this game. See what I did there?
Yeah. Clever, Ricky. Clever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Vanessa is going for a butterfly right now. How do you feel about this one?
I think this makes perfect sense. She has to be able to stand her ground inside the Wukong's command, so it's going to be butterfly satanic. That is like almost, I wouldn't say guaranteed to be the build, but very likely to be the build.
Right? You don't think a Scotty would be good here? I mean, you are playing against a Leshrac. It'd be reducing the healing inside the Bloodstone. You'd be like slowing your movement speed by nearly half.
I think you have to rely on your Invoker to deal with the Leshrac, right? Like he's got to get the Hex eventually. Like he's got to be able to just hold this FCR down before he can get like the BKB and the full spell combo off.
All right, so trust your teammates, and you're gonna have to deal with the Wukong's command and fight him on the Monkey King's turn. Basically, the butterfly's gonna be the best item for that, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I would assume. It is just a really strong item against the Monkey King.
Makes sense. Now, do you think that the side of NoRunes should try to take a team fight before they get this BKB finished up on the Leshrac?
I think
Or
they're
are they fine
okay,
waiting?
like just waiting. I don't think they're like necessarily like they don't really feel like pressured because they are still waiting for some big items themselves. The Medusa did just finish the butterfly. Okay, so now that that is done, they might go ahead and start taking a fight. We almost have the BKB on Guts, so that's pretty much their go time. And we might see them go ahead and try and go for a play here, but Brazil's not really giving them the opening. They're just playing split right now. Smoke across here to the mid lane.
Yeah, there's the BKB done on the Invoker, by the way, so
Yeah.
potentially looking for a fight at this point, but still don't have one on Higo for that instant jump. He's about 700 gold away.
They get the telekinesis onto the Beastmaster, but a nice avalanche there from the Tiny. The roar to the counter it out, and goodbye Rubik. Quick response there from Brazil. And that is the downside of the no blink on your Tidehunter, right? You just kind of waltz in. It's very easily seen.
Yeah. Plus, like, Rubik ends up going so far forward, jumping with that Force Staff. The Tider just isn't able to follow it up. It would have been great to get that 3-man Ravage off there, take that fight, but not possible without that Blink Dagger. So they get to hold their horses for a little bit. Roshan's going to respawn in another 30 seconds, by the way, so his team's going to be holding the pit.
Yeah, they don't want to expend too many spells here on the side of NoRunes, just because they know that Roshan's going to be coming soon. Nuage is just going to head towards Roshan. Check it out. Just barely missing the timer, though.
Talon Sword picked up on the Leshrac. He's going to hold on to that one for now. It does give you a little bit of spell lifesteal.
It amplifies all of the healing from Bloodstone. It's really strong.
Excellent.
I guess that makes sense. I would have thought that he'd pass it over to the Monkey King, but he is decent as a spellcaster.
And
I just
Brigand's
don't
Blade's
think
a
it's for role-playing
ton of
reasons.
damage. Like, that's the other thing to consider. Like, Brigand's Blade is probably one of the highest damage jungle items until tier 4s on, like, right-click heroes.
Yeah. 10 more damage for each 10% missing is a lot.
It ends up being, like, 70 or 80 damage in auto attack as they get low HP, which is pretty good. I don't think it applies on his soldiers because it's like it's not like Deso or anything like Diffusal and stuff like that, but maybe it is. I'd have to see. Be curious.
I think it does apply to the soldiers.
Yeah, if that's the case, that's pretty good. That's very good.
Yeah. The only thing that don't apply to soldiers are things that they like specifically change.
Yeah, bash, stuff like that. They're all removed. I feel like that one might fall into the category, but we'll see. Roshan is up to go into the pit. Aegis and Shard on the deck. Obviously, you'd
certainly
love
they
to put
can
these
take
on the
this one.
Medusa.
Oh my god, they're just like 500 gold away from the BKB on the Leshrac. I mean, this is that timing I was talking about. You go for the Blink Dagger, Boots of Travel, Bloodstone on the Lesh, and all of a sudden you're not able to run in these key timings in the game.
Both team smoke. Who's going to be ready to go for the pit here? Nuages does have his Force Staff, the Overgrowth. Of course, you've got the Ravage. They're going to go ahead and catch him on the time. Ooh! Wukong's command way off the mark, and it's going to be Beastmaster that gets pushed out instead. On the other side of the fight, they are still trying to play around the Roche timing. They end up tossing Hiko up onto the high ground. That Ravage is still available, and King RD in the danger zone now next to the pit. They lose 2 on the side of Team Brazil, and they are feeling so strong around this Roshan.
KJ is just sticking around.
Thought I could go for it, but not going to find it. Aegis and Shard. Guts will take the Shard, obviously getting himself the triple meatball and the reduced cooldown. That is huge.
As he gets closer to that level 20 that you were going off about the previous game, the plus 80% Chaos Meteor damage is going to be pretty big.
So good.
Yeah. So, weren't you able to take that fight? I think I imagine Leshrac was just too hesitant to go into that one. Like, yes, the Tiny ended up tossing out the Tidehunter, but without the BKB, you just get blown up way too quickly. If you keep in mind, there is a Spirit Vessel on this Invoker. Like, this Bloodstone is not going to heal you very much once that's on you. He does have the BKB completed now, though, so if he'd gotten it just a little bit earlier, might have been able to take that Roche fight. Unfortunately, FCR got cold feet getting into that one.
Top tower is going to go down here as Mini. Just gets it very easy. And he is going to go for the Scotty, like you said.
Yeah, makes sense. More healing reduction. You're fighting against ranged core. This is just super good against Leshrac.
King RD, Avalanche, stolen though with the Wukong's command, completely off the mark because they didn't get the toss back, and now Costa Bile is in trouble. He's got that BKB, but he's not going to connect onto anything. And with that Wukong's command being down, that's kind of the green light to just walk up the high ground.
Yep. And again, you're just a little bit of gold off the next item that you want for this defense here on the Leshrac. You finished the BKB. Right now he's trying to get the Aghanim Shard. He's like 500 gold away from that one. So they're forced to buy back on Tiny. They want to be able to stall this one out so the Lesh can get another like 500 gold. He's so close, but I think they lose their axe here.
Yeah, it is so close. Getting this Medusa twice is not going to be easy, especially when you have this Tidehunter just available to pop the Ravage at any point. You're definitely just missing a lot of spells here. Stolen Avalanche. Rubik finds two under the ward. Sentry. The Sunstrike is there. They've got him. FCR in the wraparound for the backside, but there's going to be the Overgrowth holding him in place. Yeah, he's healing up a lot, but the Stone Gaze just doing work. Mini with a double. The Alacrity damage is just way too much for them to deal with. Tornado off the mark, but the chase continues. 4 heroes dead, and the GG comes out right away. Game 1 goes to NoRunes.
Yeah, looking incredibly clean. Guts on his signature Invoker, but I think it came down to what you were talking about. This Medusa, it didn't have an answer to it. Eventually, it just got way too farmed and ran right over Team Brasil. The Leshrac was looking pretty good for a little while, but unfortunately, the BKB didn't come out in time for that Roche fight. He didn't have the Aghanim Shard ready for the high ground defense, and things just fell away from you at these key moments. Well played there by NoRunes.
Yeah, I mean, going late game, your only real counter to the Medusa is going to be that Monkey King. He did go for like the MKB, Deso BKB, but he just didn't get a chance to really do what he needed to do this game. They just fell too far behind, and NoRunes, just really clean play all around from them. So I love it.
Unfortunately, it is incredibly boring to watch these offlaners just build Wraith Pact and Pipe of Insight. Like, imagine a little bit of the video game being like, oh boy, can't wait to build these exact same 2 items, be an Aura bot for my team every game. I imagine Hiko will be designated a different role pretty soon. Maybe we'll see an update other than the Collector's Cash goes into TI qualifier dates. They tend to drop them in the middle of the Pro Series, so I'm going to hold on to hope.
I'm wearing my Medusa hat today. I should have known Medusa would win. It's very easy. All right, well, we're going to go to a short break. We do have an update, of course. So we're talking about the Collector's Cash just came out, so we got to get everyone onto the new version. And then, of course, we'll be back with game number 2 here of NoRunes versus Team Brasil. Stay tuned, everyone. This is the BTS Pro Series Season 13. We'll see you after the break.